Hello everybody and welcome to Game 3 of Team Infused versus IMBA Battlenet, the showcase match of the January DelotA Dota 2 Amateur Tournament. I am Just Delicious and with me, as always, is the wonderful, beautiful and highly intelligent Vague Raconteur.
Oh, you little sweetie, you. And of course, JD is all of these things and 10 times more. But we are both exhausted because this is going to go on to a best of 3.
Yep.
My god, it's been over 100 minutes of pure action of the showcase best of 3 match. Infused taking that last game very, very quickly. They did not want to have to go on for another 70 minutes. So they just managed to pick up Brewmaster and Lone Druid. And really, Infused can... And really, IMBA Battlenet could not stand up for that. And as you can see from that first ban, they hate Lone Druid now. They want him to die, just as a carry. We are not going to see another Lone Druid, and I hope we never have to see him again because he is somebody that makes the game last and makes it last long.
Oh, he's one of those ridiculous heroes that if you've got him and you're losing, the game is still going to go at least 40 to 50 minutes. If you've got him and you're winning, it's going to go about 20. So it really does depend on which way it goes. And Lone Druid is one of those heroes that just completely tanks out the early game. He's so difficult to bring down with his bear, and he can really farm exceptionally fast. Definitely like we saw in that last game. Team Infused picking up a Radiance on him in 20 minutes, and that really did kind of seal the deal for IMBA Battlenet. But now IMBA Battlenet have got a little bit of a problem. Who do they ban out? Because they are going to be giving Team Infused either Nyx Assassin or Batrider, and they actually ban out Shadow Demon and give them their choice of Batrider or Nyx Assassin, depending on what one they want.
Well, I'd have to say, if I were Infused, I'd instantly pick up that Batrider. Being the strongest mid, so useful. Only really countered with anyone picking up a Lincoln's, and having to pick up a Lincoln's is a very hefty price. So, IMBA Battlenet must really be confident that they don't want to see that matchup again, if they're willing to give up a Batrider for him.
Yeah, they obviously would prefer to come up against Batrider, who's possibly the strongest mid hero in the game, than come up against a Shadow Demon, who is possibly the strongest support hero in the game. I'm going to call it joint with Ezreal, but they're pretty strong together. But Nyx Assassin still in the pool as well. So whoever Infused take, they have to remember that IMBA Battlenet are probably going to take the other one plus a Keeper of the Light. So Infused have got to think about it, and they go for the Nyx. So they give IMBA Battlenet the Keeper of the Light and maybe the Batrider. I would expect them to be picking up both of these now as the last two amazing heroes in the pool.
Well, surprisingly, I guess they do go for Keeper of the Light, despite Nyx Assassin being such a strong counter, and of course the Batrider, who is so powerful, going in for their mid. But Confused selling their own Ember's own trick against them. Phantom Lancer. IMBA Battlenet must be a little bit worried because they know how powerful PL is. They know how they use him to win, and he is one of the hardest carries in this version. Oh, good God, we're in for a long one. I can feel it.
A little bit, some statistics for you here. In the entirety of DelotA, Batrider has never lost a game, and Keeper of the Light has never beat Nyx Assassin. So this is going to change the statistics one way or the other. One of them is going to change. The Batrider's either going to win, and so will the Ezreal, or they will both lose.
Now, this is a bit scary. I like statistics to never change, so if there's a way that every team could draw and we got to round 4, that'd keep my mind a little bit safer. But we're going to see Infused to pick up this next pick now. They're actually going to go for Rubik, so they've already locked out their tri-lane, and what a strong tri-lane it is. Nyx Assassin being so disable heavy, obviously. Great burst. They go for the tiny again, really?
IMBA Battlenet just don't want to give away. They just love this tiny. They really want to pick him up, but it does set them up for a Wisp pick if they are thinking of running Wisp, which would be amazing. But tiny just didn't work out for them last game whatsoever. But they're sticking with their guns. Well, we saw it at the end, at the final of the January tournament. They made a pick. I can't actually remember who it was, but it ended up doing nothing for them. They picked him in the last game, and they actually won with him. They actually got the full potential out. They learned from their mistakes, and he actually ended up being the deciding factor. I can't remember who it was, what hero it was, but
is it not Clockwork?
I think it may have been Clockwork actually, yeah. But Tiny are really, they're really running a risk by running Tiny once again.
Well, the Battlenet tend to be a little bit robotic, and it seems the first game they have so close. The second game is always a sweeping game, and the third game they seem to prove, we can do. You remember that game where something went a little bit wrong? Well, we're going to prove we can do that now. I think MNT was just unwilling to say no. I didn't mess up with that Tiny. I can prove what I'm going to do in this match, because he knows a few people watching.
Yeah, well, there's the Wisp. So the Wisp pickup is is obviously just to the Wisp ban, sorry, is just so that IMBA Battlenet can't pair him with the Tiny, which is a ridiculously strong combo. It has to be said. Just one of the best dual combos in the game. Wisp and Tiny, it's just so amazing. So, but IMBA Battlenet have probably picked up that Tiny because now they do actually have a lot of bans available, so they can really ban out anybody they feel is good against Tiny, like maybe the Brewmaster, who really did shut him down and cancel him almost completely last game if they don't like the Brewmaster. So IMBA Battlenet, that's probably why they've picked up Tiny. They like Tiny. They really wanted to play him last game, but they just didn't get their bans and picks quite right for him.
No, they really, really didn't, and it was just. I'm pretty sure we'll see that Brewmaster banned because he is so powerful. But I think it was the combination of Brewmaster and Lone Druid that really completely caught out Tiny, and that is why maybe they won't be that bothered about putting out the Brewmaster, because I don't think Infused are even going to want to run it, especially against Batrider. Brewmaster against Batrider just isn't that viable. They've got Phantom Lancer. IMBA Battlenet, actually no. We've got this huge advantage. If they want to go Brewmaster, they can go ahead. He will just die.
Yeah, actually, they've picked up Phantom Lance already, so they're not going to be running Brewmaster as that carry, so Batrider will just kill him every day of the week with its sticky napalms and fire flying over the top. There's really nothing that there's absolutely nothing that Brewmaster can do about that, sorry. So, that's probably what IMBA Battlenet are thinking, actually, with that Tiny pick. They know that they've already banned out the Lone Druid, and the Brewmaster cannot be picked up. So it really does depend on these last bans to see what goes, because we're still looking for a carry out of IMBA, but Infused have already got theirs, so IMBA can really just choose whoever they want. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Sven come out just for his cleave against Phantom Lancer. It's obviously very effective, but he's obviously one of the hardest carries in the game as well.
Would you not think the Tiny is going to be their main farmer again for IMBA, or do you think they're going to put them somewhere else where it's a little less risky?
Well, perhaps, but normally Tiny is played in that role where he just wants to get as much XP as possible and just be used as a ganker, but if they really want to run him as that carry again, then I suppose they could. They could, if they really wanted to. I mean, I thought the Windrun and the Queen of Pain bans were basically so that Tiny could have an okay time on that off lane. But if they're going to be running him, if MNT is going to be playing him as their main farmer, then they're obviously thinking of something else by banning those out.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, it's more than possible. We could see us do anything. Again, MNT we saw had a little bit of a shining to him. There must have been a reason that they wanted to play him just as a main carry. So we could see that, but it seems to be a little bit more likely that MNT might have learned from their lesson. But again, Infused actually ban out the Bounty Hunter. They think that they're running Tiny as their main carry, and they're trying to ban out the offlaners. IMBA Battlenet are actually not focused on the offlane at all. They are focused on banning out some strong supports for Infused. So maybe, it looks like this Tiny could be the hard carry.
Yeah, it does look like he is. In that case, a lot of the supports being banned out, which is interesting. But IMBA Battlenet have still got to look out for their last tri-lane hero, but it's almost certainly going to be a Jakiro in this case. You can feel it. And Infused go with the Clockwork. So Infused are going with the Clockwork, the hero that RR uses so well all the time, and that is going to be so good against Tiny. You have to feel that Tiny is going to struggle a lot against Clockwork.
Well, not if he's not going on the offlane, because we do have to say it's going to be Weaver versus Clockwork, and actually, I don't know who I'm going to give that to. Well, Bounty Hunter it did so well. But...
Yeah, in a straight-up match, you have to probably just give it to Weaver, but not by much. Although Tiny, I kind of mean Tiny in the late game against this Clockwork. Clockwork completely shuts him down. Tiny's got no way of getting out of the cogs as a pure melee hero with no escape. He can toss, but what's that going to do? It's going to toss Clockwork out of the cogs into safety. So it's going to be interesting to see how IMBA Battlenet decide to play against this Clockwork. But RR on this Weaver really has to do the best that they can to shut the Clockwork down.
Well, we know how good RR is. We saw him as a Darkseer last game, really doing a great job. It's just a shame that MNT couldn't quite keep up on that Steiner. And actually Invoker picked up against Batrider. Invoker is not going to be able to cope against this Batrider. There's absolutely no doubt of that. But he could try his hardest. Maybe he'll do an okay job. But Batrider...
Team Infused obviously like the Invoker versus a Batrider, or they just thought there's nothing better, we just have to pick Invoker. In which case, you have to say that IMBA Battlenet have really got a massive advantage when Infused were already thinking in that mindset. But this Invoker has to go Quaz Wex to beat this Batrider. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He has to Tornado, or he's just going to die.
Absolutely. And the Chen actually being the final pickup from IMBA Battlenet, so we're going to see possibly some early push, which is exactly what they need. It works really nicely with Weaver. Tiny being so tanky with the craggy exterior, like, he should shut down Clockwork, but Clockwork would have an awfully hard time carry on trying to do enough damage to actually stop the Tiny. So I'm imagining it's not that bad. Obviously, it does counter Tiny a little bit, but with the craggy exterior leveled up to full, every 1 in 4 times he's hitting him, he's going to be stunned himself. So I imagine it would take a long time for Clockwork.
Yeah, Clockwork could probably just get the Blade Mail to try and counter that Tiny, so that Tiny's ridiculously large prods just get bounced straight back to him. So I will be running through the Radiant team, and then we will once again be handing it over to Vague, who will be going over the Dio, and we're taking over Team Infused this time. So for IMBA Battlenet, we have Infamous taking up, once again, his infamous Keeper of the Light. RR will be on the Weaver, like we were expecting. Chen being played by Veduza. Batrider will be played by Joker, and MNT, the Farmer, is on the Tiny.
Meanwhile, we'll go over to the Dio, so we have Lazarian on the Rubik, we have Cody on the Phantom Lancer, normally the offlane, so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we're not going to have Phantom Lancer in the offlane, so Cody is not going to be on the offlane this game. We have Zinxus on the Invoker, Ninja Monkey obviously feeling a little bit more confident on the Clockwork, and Boo on the Nyx Assassin.
So this is going to be a really interesting game. I really want to see whether this Keeper of the Light can actually do something against this Nyx Assassin, because you have to feel that they have the best. Infused do have the best of the supports. They have the support battle one. They don't have the mid battle one at all, but they have the support battle one, and they have the carry battle one as well, because Phantom Lancer can out carry Tiny on equal farm. I would say.
Well, I have to point out, Infused have actually made a substitution. Boo was only a spectator in the last game, and now is actually last 2 games, and now he's actually playing. So Infused have got a fresh player here, and that could be a big difference. Because let's face it, when teams have been playing for an hour and a half, they're going to be a little bit too exhausted. We've had quite a little bit of a longer break, so I imagine that everybody has had a little bit of a chance to just kind of take a breath and, stop. Even we've slowed down a little bit, just to kind of keep going through everything, but manage to catch up, so when a team fight starts, we don't quite pass out from lack of oxygen. But you never know.
Yeah. This has been one of the most grueling matches I think I've ever had the pleasure of casting, because it has been absolutely fantastic. And I want to see how this Chen does. The last time IMBA Battlenet played Chen, the Chen was really the one that did so much. Using the amazing micro coming out for Venduza, using the trolls and using the centaurs, pushed towers, got kills, ganked, and really helped the team out a massive amount and led them to victory very, very early on. So a really an early team coming out from IMBA, you have to say, with the amount of nuke and this Chen that they have.
Absolutely. It looks like IMBA have got their kind of tiny orientated setup a lot more in their favour this game. And I actually think that I'm going to give it to IMBA this time. I think IMBA have a really good chance, as long as they catch out Infused, that they play like they normally play, so super aggressive, as long as they don't let fatigue get to them and they really rally and go for it, because it looked like they actually wanted the best of 3 themselves. They thought that once they started to lose an advantage, they weren't quite happy with it, and they were just willing to give up a little bit to go for that tiny pick again. They didn't want to drag it out. They wanted to save their strength, and I honestly believe that, because I have to love these guys. They've proven time and time again how good they are. And Venduza on this Chen, we've seen how good he is. I cannot wait to see what he does this game.
Yeah, well, if if like normal, the last game of the best of 3 is the most exciting, we're in for an absolute cracker, because that first game is gonna take a lot to top that.
Good God, it is. But I don't think it's going to have that same kind of drain effect by the end. I think we're both going to be completely exhausted, but from sheer excitement, we're going to have that orgasmic kind of style of RIP versus Entropy, which if you haven't watched, and you're watching now, you have to watch it. That's a pure example of how you don't need a professional team in the tournament to have the best game you've ever watched.
That game was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? And then we had solo mid or feed. I can't remember who they played. No Connection. Solo mid or feed versus No Connection was also a fantastic game. And now we've had this one, IMBA Battlenet versus Team Infused. It's just been so fantastic to watch and cast all these games.
Well, we've seen some really amazing plays, and actually solo mid or feed have been 2 really fantastic games. So what we're excited to see after Team Infused versus IMBA is over is, can IMBA play against solo mid or feed, and how actually good are they? Because every team solo mid or feed go against they tend to be quite close but ultimately win. They like to play for the late game, so we'll be interested to see that. But at this moment, Infused versus IMBA Battlenet, the very, very last game. One looking like they do a little bit better in the late game, obviously with Phantom Lancer. The other team looking very strong for the early game and ganking like crazy. JD, who do you think is going to win this?
I really, really don't know. If IMBA can get a good start, if IMBA can get a good start before maybe 10 minutes, then they could really just snowball out of control, especially Joker, and then they can really just pick the Infused team apart and really, really dominate them. But if Infused can hold on at the beginning and maybe even get a kill or two of their own, I won't expect them to dominate the lanes, but if they can really do well at the beginning, then I have to give it to them. It really is. The start means everything in this game. You have to say the first 10 minutes of this game are more important than the first 10 minutes of the last two games.
Oh, they really, really, really are. Because these 10 minutes kind of decide for IMBA Battlenet exactly what they're going to do. If they're going to be able to fight this, or if they're going to be able to not. And they're such a gank-orientated early team. Look at this, we've got the Chen. We know how good Venduza is, so we can almost guarantee brilliant play from him, despite a little bit of fatigue. We have Joker, who, Batrider, you don't need that much ability with Batrider to get loads of kills, and with the ability of Joker around, this should be so good for him. MNT, we know how great a farmer he is. He managed to keep up relatively well on the Tiny. It's just the kills that caught him out. Infamous, we don't even have to go over how great he is with Phantom Lancer. And RR on a Weaver, we have seen just kill a game in 20 minutes flat.
Yeah, we've seen RR really dominate games on that Weaver. We've seen Infamous, like always, on that Keeper of the Light. So good. He always knows exactly what to do. He plays it so well and so consistently. It's going to be really interesting to see. But obviously, Team Infused are a fantastic team, and Coldy is a really good farmer. So it's going to be interesting to see how much farm he can get on Phantom Lancer. He's really good at that micro, so maybe he's really going to show off his micro skills on Phantom Lancer and start jungling all the camps at the same time, or something crazy like that.
I really would actually like to see that. I'm interested to see Ninja Monkey, normally their hardest farmer, or their tri-lane carry, actually going on the clockwork. Obviously, he's very confident with that hook shot, and he should technically have a nice time against Weaver, although that ultimate can just completely get him straight. Timelapse can completely get him straight out of cogs, catch Ninja Monkey out by surprise, and it could cost a lot. And Boo, we haven't even seen play yet today because he was their stand, he was like their substitute. Guess these professional teams get that kind of thing. Nyx Assassin, to be able to see him go through again. We've never seen a Batrider lose a game, but we've never seen Ezreal win against the Nyx Assassin. So this is going to be a statistic-breaking game, no matter what happens.
And you can almost feel this game is going to be extremely exciting, one way or the other. We're either going to see a very fast, quick sort of win by IMBA, or we're going to see a very long, grindy game come out from Infused, where they really need to go to that late game and hope that that Phantom Lancer can really take the win for them. And if it does go late game, you have to feel that Phantom Lancer is going to absolutely demolish this IMBA Battlenet side. And they have one AFK. That's fine.
Okay, there we go. Both teams are really lovely, by the way, if you've never known these kind of guys. It's really nice to see in the Dota community. You have so many teams that are professionals, semi-professionals, that are just so kind and so down-to-earth and just lovely people to know that you can't help but really love this community.
Yeah, the Dota community is one of the best, and one of the best communities in games, especially in the professional scene. They're all very good. Until you get to like a LGD and IG, where obviously every game actually it matters a lot to them because it's their wages, and that's their job. So you can obviously you expect sometimes they're going to be a little more harsh in what they say, or maybe just a little bit more annoyed if they lose because they have reason to. But yeah, this Clockwork already walking all the way down onto the safe lane. He's got boots already, so Clockwork has gone for the fast boots, and I think he's expecting to be up against Weaver, but he's not. He's going to be up against Tiny, Ezreal, and Chen in the jungle. So that's pretty interesting little pickup to get boots immediately.
Well, normally IMBA are always running their tri-lane on the hard lane, but I guess they assumed that Infused were going to go for the same thing, or going to put their tri-lane on the hard lane. Maybe for the first time, we're actually going to see IMBA play a tri-lane versus one solo hard laner.
Yeah, perhaps it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be Weaver as well, so that's going to be even more interesting to see whether Weaver can actually do anything. So the pings are actually coming out. I don't think they can actually. I don't think they have any wards up anywhere. Then no team has any wards up. A ward now goes up now.
30 seconds to
But
battle.
yeah, Rubik has the sentries, so if they're going to be up against this, this Weaver, you have to say that they're going to have a pretty good time, especially with the telekinesis being able to drag them back. And a shout out to the SSA Spartan apparently. Okay, very odd, but that obviously means something to them.
Most definitely does, and it'd just be interesting to see Clockwork at boot start.
The battle
I-
begins.
I have no idea why. Obviously, he does think he's going to be going against this Weaver, but waited quite nicely for the haste rune. He's probably going to pick this up now, or he isn't because he's just going to wait for somebody else to pick this up. No, he's going to take it himself.
And he's
He
scouting.
won't expect his scouting. It looks like he's going to be caught out though. He wasn't ready for this. Oh no, he was, because he's just going to go straight for it and attack. And Venduza
Yeah, he's
actually looks.
He's just harassing as much as he can at the moment, but that mana leak's going to do a lot with the fact that he has a haste rune, so he's just got to kind of stand still, or else he's going to lose a lot of his mana. He can now back off, but yeah, he's only got 3 tangos for regen, so he's doing a lot worse on regen than Keeper of the Light, and that's because of that boot start. So if he can really get that regen up. It looks like they're swapping though. They really want this Clockwork to be solo. They really want to do as much as they can, and they're going to swap it up as much as possible. Infamous now going mid and just mana leaking Invoker so that he can't move anywhere. I'm not entirely sure why they bothered doing that, because they didn't really do anything. But yeah, you have to say that it looks like they're actually just running Tiny solo, and the keeper's just going to be walking around doing everything he can to support every lane.
Well, I suppose they want Tony to have as much as they can early on, but you know, technically Tiny should be really great against him. If we look now, he's already doing a fantastic job. He gets so much move speed when he goes on, and Craggy Exterior could potentially be quite good against Battery Assault.
Yeah, it's going to be very good against Battery Assault, especially in the late game. And now Keeper of the Lights come on, and there's the mana leak. So Ninja Monkey really can't move, or else he's going to lose a lot of mana. He does lose an awful lot of mana. And you can see how much he's been harassed already. He's got no farm, no mana. He's got about 100, 200 HP, and now he's stuck. He can't leave the tower. He's had to go all the way back to base.
This is actually exactly what IMBA Battlenet want. They don't need that many kills. If MNT can just have complete free farm, and if we now put up the last hits, because it is 2 minutes in, we see, you know, Tiny's not doing that badly. He's got 7 last hits, 2 denies. But the funny thing is, Invoker's actually just keeping very easily up with Joker in mid.
Yeah, well, he's gone into Exort, so he's gone to just try and spam Joker as much as possible. And we saw Joker last time Joker played. He was very defensive on that Batrider and didn't really dive in as much as he could. He's got 1 point in Flame Break, as opposed to the normal going 2 into Sticky Napalm. But yeah, he's just lavering up this Invoker at the moment.
Well, that's all he really needs to do. He doesn't need to do that much to him. He just has to keep on slowing him down. Invoker's such a slow hero, and making into Exor, he's going to have a nightmare trying to move about with layer upon layer of Sticky Napalm. Maybe that Flame Break was just to try and possibly help with ganking, push him out a little bit where he could be harassed a little bit more.
Yeah, you have to say that. Yeah, that's almost certainly what it's going to be. Clockwork's now back on lane, but he's 2 levels behind Tiny already. And Tiny doesn't have... Oh, he does have the mana to cast both of his spells if he wants to. And here comes the gank, actually. Smoke up. Venduza has the Centaur Warchief, and Infamous is there. So it looks like they are going to dive onto Clockwork. There's the mana leak. The Centaur's here. Are they going to go for it? No, they're not. Monkey actually digs himself out really nicely. But there's MNT using that Avalanche. Are they going to get him? I don't think they actually can. The Centaur doesn't have a stun. Infamous is chasing. A mana leak may just secure the kill as soon as Chen gets back. Is he going to mana leak him? Doesn't look like he is. He can use the cogs. There's the mana leak. He's got 0 mana and he's stunned. But Venduza just backs off. They couldn't chase him.
That was a little bit unlucky there for IMBA Battlenet, because the Tiny actually wasn't quite healthy enough. He'd rather just manage to keep on safely getting the farm. But it's so risky, because let's face it, well, Clockwork is out of regen now. He's not actually able to do anything, and while his spells don't cost that much mana, he just can't cast them because his regen is non-existent.
Yeah, well, you look at Weaver as well, and Weaver's absolutely doing nothing on this lane. sitting on 2 last hits to 0 denies, and absolutely getting dominated. It's level 2, about to go to level 3 now, but the amount of nuke that this lane has is really keeping this Weaver locked down.
While Lazarian keeps stack pulling and creep pulling actually towards pulling the lane so that Weaver can't get anything, and we know RR.
Looking mid, Joker has the invis, but actually just wastes it. Very odd. I was expecting them to try and dive that dive and get the kill on the Invoker, because they could quite easily, seeing that he's gone into Exort. Although he does have Ice Wall, which is going to be very, very useful against that Batrider.
Well, I have to say, look at his build. 3 points into Flame Break and only 1 point into Sticky Napalm. What on earth is he thinking?
Well, he's obviously going to be going slightly different. He obviously feels this is the best way to counter that Invoker. We're going to have to look back at bottom, though, again, because this time Ninja Monkey doesn't have any mana, and he's going to get stunned off the mana break. Can they stun him again from the Tiny? Yes, they can. Can they get the Centaur in position? I'm not entirely sure, but Venduza should be able to finish him off pretty easily. No, he can't, and Ninja Monkey gets away again.
Well, unfortunately, that just wasn't quite enough, but they just can't kill off this Clockwork. It's actually a little bit shocking. They really should be able to, but they keep making him get out of lane, and that is almost as much of a problem.
Here goes Batrider. Is he going to get him? One lasso, and he's got him. Up goes the wall. He didn't have mana for the lasso, so he backs off. He's got 9 napalm charges on him. But here comes Lazarian and Boo. They're going to get Joker on the back of it. There's the Sunstrike. Is it going to land? No, he goes the other way, but they get their kill, and first blood goes to Infused.
A little bit overconfident from Joker there without the extra mana from the Flaming Lasso. It really wasn't quite enough, so a little bit shocking. But again, maybe you wonder that might be down to putting extra points in Flame Break, where you normally have Sticky Napalm, which has slowed him even further and get the extra damage just on prods, so that you don't have to be so heavily mana dependent, because Flame Break costs a fortune, costs an extra 20 mana every point you put into it.
Look at this Phantom Lancer's farm. He's sitting at 42 and 13, so he is getting very nicely farmed. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, and he's so far ahead of the Tiny, who's on 29 and 8 down at bottom, that you have to feel that Team Infused are really, really looking very nice to take the win.
But looking mid, definitely going to get the kill, and there we go. Batrider had absolutely no problem there, using his ultimate just to guarantee that Joker couldn't do anything. But clearly, they were not happy with Joker falling against that, and they were determined to get it back. And it's actually working so nicely, because it's allowing Tiny to keep up in levels against this Clockwork. He's still a level ahead, because the tri-lane is non-consistent, and that's just what Tiny needs. He doesn't need a load of support against an off-lane. He just needs the supports to keep roaming on. Supports are very low level. Keeper of the Light only at level 3, and Chen at level 4 because he's jungling. But if the Keeper keeps accompanying the Chen, he's going to get support as well. He's going to get the extra experience as well. And now it looks like they're actually going to be going on to Ninja Monkey, are they? No, it looks like they can't be able to do anything. Actually, Ninja Monkey's caught out Chen in the cogs. Chen is going to go down without a doubt. Surely no, yes he does. But Chen actually manages to get the kill on Clockwork. Of course, it doesn't. The money doesn't go to him. They really could have used for it to go to Tiny. But Clockwork doing quite well to get the kill first.
Yeah, played that very well to get that kill then. That's exactly what he needed to do to make sure that he got that. And Tiny's doing okay for farm. He's doing a lot better than he did last game, that's for sure. And we're going to have to see whether he can snowball as much as they want him to. Joker in mid is having an okay time against Invoker. They're actually both sat on 34 last hits, and they both have a kill and a death. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see what's happening around the map. But Coldy is really the one you have to watch. He's sitting on 2k gold. Is he going to rush a Diffusal Blade, you think, before he even bothers with his boots? Oh, he's got his Tranquil Boots, actually, so that's all going towards his Diffusal Blade.
Absolutely, he probably will be going straight to his Diffusal Blade, unless he wants to rush a Radiance.
Look at Batrider in the water, gets caught out by the entire team, taken down once again. Nice play by Infused. They had the wards up, they managed to spot him, and he did get taken out.
Oh dear, well, Joker's being a little bit sloppy there in the kind of position, but again, he's got to have so much fatigue. He's been playing constantly in this mid role for about, how long is it now? About 100 minutes. So the poor guy really must be tired, putting all those points into the Flame Break to try and get the extra nuke off, so that when Keeper of the Light and Chen come to help him, they can just nuke his health down without him trying to actually use his Ghost Walk to escape.
Clockwork's being a a little bit adventurous walking around the jungle. He could quite easily kill this Chen though, and he has the hook shot. There it is, and then we can see the Sunstrike coming on top, and they get the kill. He digs himself out. Now he's going to Keeper. He gets stunned. He's not to get Keeper, so he backs off. But nice play. Although Batrider gets the lasso off, so it looks like Ninja Monkey's going to be falling as well. A few sticky napalms, and they're going to quite easily get the kill. Boo's here, but MNT gets the kill on Boo with the toss, and they get the clockwork. So Boo was a little bit adventurous there, diving in with that Nyx Assassin.
Indeed, and it's 4 for 4 now. The game is pretty much even. MNT getting the first kill. He desperately needed to get some kills to get the extra kind of gold that you need from those kind of things into it. He's got his level. He's got his first point in grow, so he's very, very fast. It's in when he's got his phase, it's in at 417 move speed. Exactly what you wanted to have. He's actually putting up some clarities, but now he's getting what he wants. Clockwork is going to have to be a little more risky, and Boo is actually now permanently accompanying Clockwork by the looks of it, or is just going to the offline itself, because it looks like Ninja Monkey may be just kind of roaming around.
Yeah, he is kind of just roaming now. He's not really going to get anything, and now he can gank. He has that hook shot available, so he can gank as much as he wants, and we do see the paws come out from the Weaver, from RR on the Weaver on that off lane, who's only sat at level 4 still.
I'm just wondering exactly what's wrong now. The two guys, obviously, two teams. This is such a long time. They have to have a few pauses now, here and then. But
oh yeah, it's probably just a little bit of a lag break. But we were saying that the first 10 minutes are very important, and I don't think IMBA have got the start they wanted. They really haven't. I mean, Chen's level 4 and Weaver's level 4, so. And Keeper's only level 5, and you compare that to the levels of Infused. If we flick up the XP graph, we can actually see that Infused are over 2k ahead, and on Gold they're about 1k ahead. So Infused are actually ahead at this stage, and IMBA really, that's not what they wanted at all, since they had this really nice gank lineup, but only at the early stages of the game, because I really don't think this Tiny's going to be able to keep up with a Phantom Lancer.
Well, it was just a strange pick. Obviously, Tiny, the Crag, it all depends on how powerful he reckons Craggy Exterior will really be. Whether he thinks it's going to proc enough to just kind of disable Phantom Lancer, because the illusions will obviously proc it, but with a Heart of Tarrasca's illusions will easily be able to take it, and it won't be that much of a problem for him. Meanwhile, obviously the extra armor will be helpful, and it's going to be tanky, but it's not going to be. He doesn't have enough carry potential to do what they're trying to get him to do.
Yeah, we've seen Tinys be played in the carry role before, and they normally get a Manta style and then get a Scepter and then really do a hell of a lot of splash damage. So, but it really does depend on whether he's going to get that farm, because Phantom Lancer looks like he's getting so much more farm than him. He's only about 500 off of his Diffusal Blade now, Phantom Lancer, so he's going to have a Diffusal Blade in a minute or two.
Yeah, and the second he gets a Diffusal Blade, it's going to be so easy for him to take down Tiny and just about anyone on IMBA's team. Most of them are very squishy anyway. The two really tanky ones being Batrider and Tiny, but with that Diffusal Blade, it's going to be just, well, a nice bit of farm for him.
Yeah, and it's going to be exceptionally important, especially against heroes like Chen, where he can really drain their mana at the beginning of the team fight before he wants to use his ultimate, and maybe force him to use the ultimate early before anything's actually happened. So that's going to be really important. And yeah, Phantom Lancer with Diffusal Blade can easily start going and just killing almost anybody. But I imagine he's just going to keep farming up, because that's what he'd rather do. It's going to be a lot quicker than ganking, and as soon as he gets his Diffusal Blade, his farm is going to absolutely skyrocket.
Absolutely, and it's not looking that good for IMBA Battlenet. In terms of Infused, they definitely have the long game, and IMBA Battlenet really needed a much more aggressive start. They really did try against the Clockwork, but they just couldn't get the kills. They just weren't quite aggressive enough, or maybe they just decided they really couldn't get it without dying themselves.
Okay, we're off again, and we can resume IMBA Battlenet versus Infused in the last game of this best of 3. And the question I want to ask now is, how long is it going to take this Phantom Lancer to get his Diffusal Blade? And the answer is not very, I can imagine, as Tiny's actually got his Yasha, but now look at Coldy has bought both his blades and his robe, so he's literally just waiting for the recipe now.
Yeah, it's not going to take him very long at all. And once he does have that, the Purge with the illusions are going to cost a fortune. And let's face it, Tiny is heavily reliant on being able to avalanche and throw. It costs an awful lot of mana and needs a very limited mana pool. One little attack from Phantom Lancer, even without the Purge, is going to take away all his mana. He's limited, and without an Aghanim Scepter and a Manta Style, he's so stuck.
Yeah, he hasn't really got the carry potential at the moment to do anything. His right clicks really don't do enough. It's not until he gets the splash damage they really do. Once he gets his Manta Style, though, he does do quite a lot of damage. It's just not as much as he wants. And RR could get caught out by the Sunstrike, but it's absolutely miles off. I think the Invoker was expecting a Sakuchi to come out from the Weaver, but he was just walking back to base instead. So the mid tower actually gets denied from IMBA, so Infused is still looking so strong. Even in the early game, they look like they've taken a little, quite hefty advantage.
Yeah, they really are, and because of course Chen is still kind of that very much a factor that could help win the game. He's not been quite as useful as we were expected him to do, but his creeps he's not been that lucky with. He hasn't found the trolls that are so necessary, and that is a problem with Chen. You're so bloody reliant on getting a decent jungle creep that you can spend 5 bloody hours looking through a jungle just for some decent troll warlord, and the second you get it, you're guaranteed that somebody kills it. So here to go, Ninja Monkey
yep.
starting up on Infamous, but he misses the cogs, and the Sunstrike misses as well. Terrible there from Team Infused. Maybe a little bit down to fatigue, but now they know that Ninja Monkey's here, and Xinxis is here as well, and Joker goes on it. Is he going to start? Yes, he is. He's going to go on Xinxis. Xinxis is completely doomed. There's no way he's going to be able to escape this. Surely, and there we go. Xinxis falls, but Joker looks like he's going to fall as well, actually. The cold snap, and yes, he uses his micro on the Forged Spirits to get him down.
Yeah, nice play, and now we see Boo on the back. Is Boo going to be able to get away? The Invoker gets another kill with the Forged Spirits on the Chen. So even though it looked like it was going to go in the favour of IMBA, it's a 3-for-1 for Team Infused. And all that time, Coldie's been free farming.
Yeah, and this guy's free farm is absolutely ridiculous. He's having his Diffuser Blade sent to him now. He's probably going to pick up a Heart of Tarrasque because it's so survivable once he gets that, or a Manta Style. And once he gets those items, you have to feel sorry for absolutely anyone who comes across his path. Tiny isn't going to be able to do anything against him. His farm is so good. If we look at the net worth graph, he's 1.1k ahead of Tiny. So it's not that far behind, but Tiny is actually a little bit behind Invoker. He's the highest net worth for IMBA Battlenet, and it's just not enough. Not for this team anyway.
Yeah, well, Cody has a Diffuser Blade now, so he's going to start farming just so ridiculously fast. He's going to push this tower, and it looks like he's probably going to get this tower now because there's no defense coming out from IMBA quite yet, and he has such a high attack damage that that tower's going to be falling quite fast. So he has to back off because the Joker comes in, and that flame break just clears away the creeps. But now we look at bottom again. Venduza looks like he might be caught out. The hook shot actually must have missed because Venduza's still on full HP. Invoker puts up the ice wall. They've spotted Chen. Really nice placement. Now Chen's slowed all the way through the trees, and he gets another kill. And Invoker's playing exceptionally well. 4-2-4 versus and Chen has just been able to do absolutely nothing. He's sitting at 1-4-2. He's died 4 times already.
Yeah, it's really not looking all that good for IMBA Battlenet at this point. Team Infused taking 10 kills in the lead. Phantom Lancer just kills Tiny, as we were saying. Phantom Lancer are going to have a really easy time and actually purge Tiny, meaning that it looks like they're going to take this top tower. Mid tower's already gone. Infused is going again for a fast game, and unless IMBA Battlenet start turning you in a team fight again, it doesn't look good for them whatsoever. Ninja Monkey actually has an invisibility rune. It was looking at Infamous, but they're not going to go on it. It looks like they're just going to push, possibly a little bit more, but they may not be that risky yet.
Yeah, they're not going to yet. Oh, but the hook shot, really nice play by Ninja Monkey. It looks like they might be getting the kill on Infamous. The teleport scroll is there. Chen uses his ultimate. They do actually get the kill. But Joker on the back of it, and they do actually manage to take him out just because of that Tiny. And, nice play by IMBA then actually to turn it around, because it did look like the keeper was going to die for nothing.
Well, Tiny desperately needs this Aghanim Scepter and a Manta Style if he wants to do anything to this Phantom Lancer, and once he does, he really could be a force to be reckoned with. But Coldest farm, absolutely ridiculous. He's got almost 2k in the bank right now. He can pretty much go for whatever he wants. The items we're kind of expecting from him: a Butterfly, a Manta Style, or even a Heart of Tarrasque. Probably most likely at this point a Manta Style.
Yeah, I expect him to probably go for the Manta style. He can pretty much already afford a Yasha if he wants to buy that up. He just sells an Ironwood branch there, I think, and he's going to be looking for one of those items almost certainly now. So it's going to be interesting to see what IMBA actually do against it, because he's getting so much farm. They're just not stopping him.
Yeah, well, if we look out down in the jungle, in Radiant jungle, we see Lazarian, Zinxis, and Boo all get smoked up. They are going for a gank. Venduza could be caught out here. They're actually pinging him. They know Infused is doing the pinging. Zinxis is being caught out. The cold snap, the extra damage from an Exalt Invoker. He's gone as a full carry, and my god, is it working for him? He's dominating 5-2. Really, really nice play from Infused.
Yeah, and while that's happening, we still see that Coldy is just pushing out this lane, and they're sending some to defend against it now, but it's really not going to do anything. He's already gone. He's already picked up a vitality booster, so he's going for the Heart of Tarask.
He's having such a nice, easy time for him to just be able to. Such an easy time for Team Infused to just be able to keep snowballing with this, and Coldy getting so much farm.
But look at this. They've gone for Roshan once again, and they're going to probably pick it up. I mean, I can't see anything that IMBA can do to stop them. They're just gonna tank it up with Forge Spirits, and yeah, it looks like they're going to be getting a Roshan.
Absolutely, and they just waited really, really nicely for the built-in Lincoln Sphere on Roshan, so that they could use a cold snap and bring him down even faster. Not that they really need to worry. IMBA Battlenet must be a little bit concerned about where Infused are, but maybe not. He's gone down to under 1,000 health now, just at this moment now, so he's going to fall definitely. And you'd imagine Coldy just about being all the way up the top to get it. So maybe, yes, Zinxis is going to be picking it up, and Invoker, and now they've gone for a smoke gank immediately after.
Yep, they immediately smoke, and they've been drawn on the map. They know exactly where they want to go. They're going to try and go behind this tower and see if they can catch anyone out, but they don't know that the entirety of IMBA pretty much are just grouped up together in the jungle, just trying to farm and get something, because they're really being limited for space, just like we saw in the last game. Team Infused haven't lost a single tower, and IMBA have lost quite a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a real worry for IMBA Battlenet. If they want to win this now, Batrider has a Blink Dagger, so that's going to be a really great thing for them. But Infused is just playing so well on form. They've clearly got a little bit more endurance here, and this may be the deciding factor. Coldy having so much farm so easily. He's actually got a vitality booster, so.
Yeah, and he's sitting on 2.5k, so he's going to get his Reaver as soon as he can. He's only 700 off his Reaver. So, oh, but the Joker blinks straight in and picks up the Nyx Assassin. But nice play by Lazarian to actually get him. Lazarian nicks the Firefly, and he'll be jungling with that, I imagine.
Just want to point out how amazing a flying Rube it looks. It looks like he's putting out some extremely explosive kind of entrails, but it's fair enough. For him, he's doing a great job. And my god, poor IMBA Battlenet. A Joker actually goes in, manages to really nicely get the kill on that Lazarian there, just using his Firefly and then the Sick and Napalm. But now all of IMBA are going to, MNT is definitely going to be caught down. They actually throw Ninja Monkey, but what's it going to be able to do? Coldy has purged Venduza, not being able to do that much damage against him, but Venduza is definitely going to fall here. Surely, there we go. There we go. Yeah, Nyx Assassin actually manages to kill off Venduza there, and Invoker gets a kill on Batrider, so it is not looking good. It looks like Infused are going to win this. They're already on the bottom tower. They're taking it down to half health. Ninja Monkey has actually turned this around despite having a lot of trouble in the early game. He really, because he didn't die that much, he's doing really nicely. He's got 2.3k in the bank, and it's just not looking good for IMBA Battlenet no matter what way you look at it.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, IMBA Battlenet are looking a little bit down, looking a little bit on the ropes at the moment. Not quite as heavily as they were in game one. They do have the potential to get back into this. I mean, they still have a Weaver, although the Weaver is really not farmed whatsoever. Level 7 after 20 minutes. Compare that to pretty much everyone on Team Infused's side, and it just doesn't look good whatsoever.
Well, it's starting to come down to the point where it's going to take Infused making mistakes for IMBA Battlenet to win. If we look at the XP and gold graph, it's plus 12k in favour of Infused. But same for XP and gold, so IMBA Battlenet are going to have to be on tip-top form and have Infused making some kind of sloppy mistake from fatigue if they really want to start getting back into this.
Yeah, but it really doesn't look like Infused are making any mistakes whatsoever. They seem to be handling the fatigue so much better than IMBA Battlenet. It's been a really long day for IMBA Battlenet. This isn't the first tournament they've played in today either. They've actually had games pretty much all day, so it's just probably not exactly what they would have wanted. Not the perfect conditions, but regardless, they have definitely given a massive effort against Team Infused, and they've really given them some problems. And they haven't lost this yet.
No, they really haven't. They have absolutely everything they can do. The Tiny is just such a strange pickup, but actually Joker has picked up Lazarian. Tiny uses his Avalanche, and it looks like Lazarian is definitely going to fall. Tiny picking up the kill, so that's really, really fantastic. He is actually only 300 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. Once he gets that, you always have to wonder why Tiny can't just pick up a tree from the forest for free, but apparently it costs him about 4,200 gold to do so. And he's going to be getting that really soon, and once he does, add that with a Mantis Style, maybe, just maybe, despite the net worth being 4k almost in, actually over 4k, in Phantom Lancer's favour. Once he gets that, now he's got his Aghanim Scepter coming, surely just once the courier comes back, he's going to be getting this. With the Mantis Style,
when he gets his Aghanim Scepter, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. There's no denying it. Although, look at the big push that they've got in mid. Is it going to be is that Aghanim Scepter going to be enough to try and fight a Phantom Lancer? Though that's the question. And especially seeing that Phantom Lancer is doing so well for himself. He's the same level as Tiny, which is a pretty nice for IMBA actually, to be able to have their carry at the highest level. One of the highest levels in the game, so yeah, they've done well to do that, but it still doesn't look fantastic for them.
Well, you know, we can still turn it around. That Tiny getting an Aghanim Scepter is exactly what they want. Once he gets a Mantis Style now, he will be some competition for Phantom Lancer, and that's exactly what they want. Clockwork's going to have a much harder time against him when he's able to just use that extra bit of a cleave.
Well, talking of Clockwork, here he comes. They've all dived on the top. MNT is going to get slowed down, but a nice flame break by Batrider actually kills the Invoker and wastes the Aegis. Through comes the Keeper Illuminate, but it looks like they're going to probably be taking this tower unless they can get in there pretty soon. The Clockwork dies to the Batrider, but the Batrider also dies, and MNT is just nowhere to be seen right now. Finally he's come in, but he's just not doing enough damage.
Well, he did quite a reasonably large amount, but just so close to killing off Rubik. Not quite enough though. Cody, he's being taken down quite fast actually, so that's exactly what you want to see from MNT. He's putting up a great defense, but if we look at his attack speed, 1.35 seconds per attack, it's very, very slow, and so he's going to build up the Mantis. Once he gets that Mantis Style, it will be a reasonable amount faster, provided he can get that Mantis Style, and Infused cannot push past him.
Yeah, well, his attack strength is absolutely ridiculous at 213 plus 24, so he's really limited by his attack animation. So he will be increasing his attack speed, you can imagine, severely by picking up that Mantis Style. But look at Phantom Lancer's farm.
Yeah, 195 last hits is absolutely ridiculous, and he's really doing a fantastic job. He's absolutely being able to tank this tower, now he's had to go away. They've actually smoked up M&T, Infamous, and Joker. They're going to be going for trying to find this Phantom Lancer or Zinxis as much as they can, because they really need to take down one or the other. Preferably for them, the Phantom Lancer, because they're
gonna catch Ninja Monkey. Ninja Monkey's walked kind of straight into them, but they've backed off. And nothing actually comes of that, but they could have got a gank there. But you got to remember that Coldy is just doing so well for himself, now picking up this Mantis Style. Can a Tiny really come up against this? That's the questions. That's the main question in this game that's going to have to be asked, because if he can't, then they just can't stop Coldy.
Well, with 3 Purges left on the Diffusal Blade, I have to say with the Diffusal Blade, no, Tiny will not be able to face against this, so they need to just be able to waste those Purges, keep engaging next to a base, keep Tiny alive, make those Purges go, and then go on the Phantom Lancer. And maybe if they all go on him, especially with Batrider's ultimate, they could kill the Phantom Lancer. They just have to make sure it's the right one, and Tiny's Aghanim is going to be the perfect item to make sure they get the right one.
Yeah, well now Infused are making a push at top. They're done with all the other lanes. They want to push this top one out now as much as they can, and maybe try and damage this tower, because all the other towers on about half HP for IMBA Battlenet. They're going to try and want to do the same again. Chen does have a nice creep. He has the Centaur though this time, but I don't think a Centaur is going to be enough to stop a push if they really want to go for it.
No, it's just not going to be enough really. And Infused are just going to be able to go for this top tower if they want. Look how quickly that Ursa Warrior goes. There's no real defense against it. The tower is going to be taking so much damage there. And you have to think IMBA Battlenet have really pushed now. They're going to have Joker initiate. They're going to have to go for something impressive, or else it's just never going to be enough.
And the sticky napalm being stolen by Rubik, so that's going to be very, very annoying for this IMBA Battlenet team. They're going to keep getting put up by the sticky napalm, although it's not good against Weaver whatsoever. It's very, very effective against Tiny, so Tiny's going to have even less maneuverability than he does normally. And I didn't see where that hookshot went. I don't think it actually hit anything. No, it didn't. So they're just trying to take down this tower now, and it looks like they're going to get it quite easily. Are they going to be going for the racks as well? Tiny comes in, but that clockwork, we said he's a counter for him. Look at him just holding him in position. He can't move, and Tiny's going to easily fall here. Is he going to be able to get clockwork is the only question. No, he's not. And it looks like IMBA Battlenet are quite easily going to be taking this game now. They're going to be losing this game now. The barracks have been lost. They don't really have much of a defense. Tiny's dead. Batrider's dead for another 30 seconds. That's going to get Infused another racks if they want it.
Yeah, I think the fatigue in the end has just stopped them play from being on top form. And you saw on top form they were complete competition between Infused, but you have to forget that you can't forget they've been playing tournament games all day long. Seems to actually disconnecting. That is the least consistent broadcaster I've ever seen. Yeah, Coley is just going to take this mid tower now. It is all over, unfortunately, for Battlenet. They've done so well. They did actually manage to beat the first game, and no, Nyx Assassin is the ultimate game. Batrider is not as much of a winner, as Ezreal can never win against a Nyx Assassin. That is our official statistic.
Yep.
That we've learned from January DelotA's tournament.
Yep, you'd rather have a Nyx versus versus a keeper than them have a Batrider, sorry. So that's the way we're going to run that one. And the GGs are being called. It is all over. And IMBA Battlenet will be disconnecting, but really nice play by IMBA. And my entire Dota is frozen.
Same for me. But I guess, if it's a patch, I will be so annoyed. But no, it looks like it'll probably recover. Or will it? No.
I'm not entirely sure. Well, either way, Infused have won this best of 3. Really nice. I'm going to move away from there because all I can hear is clockwork. Really nice play by Team Infused, as you would expect. They are a professional team, but you can't forget that IMBA Battlenet have really given them a run for their money today.
Yeah, they really have. Really nicely played by both teams, though. Absolutely fantastic. And you can see